Hello and welcome to another Jamie's Broken Cars. The cars aren't technically, well, the cars are mostly technically broken. We're going to talk about the XJ-S just now though. The XJ-S isn't technically broken, just a little bit with the exhaust. We'll come back and fix that, but I've had some new stuff, so it's not technically broken, but it is a bit tired in some respects. So we've had a nice box arrive from Simply Performance, and inside the box from Simply Performance we have some Bilstein dampers. There are 4 dampers at the back of the XJ-S with 2 at the front, and this is a complete kit of both. So what we have here is one pair for the back with spring seats. These are inverted tube type, so they sit that way up in the car. There's new springs on the way as well. Got a fantastic deal on eBay for some OEM springs, never fitted, brand spanking new, for £51, but I'm waiting for them to be delivered and they haven't come yet. But they will be by the time you see this video. So that's the rears, and at the front we have a big set of dampers and a complete fitting kit. Now, every so often my XJ-S makes a little bit of a clunk as it goes across a bump. And this is quite a common thing with Jaguars, but they have these little rubber bush donuts. They're more like a dense foam actually, but one of these sits in between sort of cup washers either side of the top of the shock tower, and they get a bit squashed and it's not bolted straight, so you know the damper still damps and everything works right, but every now and again if you go over a bump just right, it just makes the top of the damper rattle in the wing and it gives you a bit of a knock. So I was going to buy these separately, but let's see, we've splashed out, treated the car to a complete new set of Bilstein B6 dampers, and I can't wait to get them fitted. Now, what I did decide to do is that I've changed dampers on cars before and they've absolutely transformed the way the car's felt, but these have never been dampers that have failed the British MOT or leaked or anything like that. It's just a case of adding new dampers that work properly and comparing them directly with road legal but tyre dampers, and just the way the car changes is fantastic. So if you've been on the fence, or you're somebody who's only ever changed something like shock absorbers, dampers, when you've been forced to because the car's failed its MOT and they've started leaking, what I've decided to do is we're going to take you out, we're going to drive the car as is just now. I will describe the way the car feels, how it turns in, we'll give you a little bit of footage of how the car generally behaves, then we'll come back to the garage and we'll change the front ones first, and we're going to go out again. I'll do the same thing again. I'll tell you how the car feels just with the fronts being refreshed and the backs being old, and then we're going to come back one more time and we will change the rear dampers and the rear springs. They have to be done together as they're coilovers, and then we'll go out and we'll drive it one more time and I'll give you my impression of how the car's changed compared to the beginning, and we'll see what you think. And well, hopefully I don't have to eat my words. I do expect there'll be a good improvement though. Hello cat. Yeah, thank you. Where was I? Yes, I think this should be quite good fun. So we'll see you out in the garage. Okay, so we are out for a little bit of a drive. The car is in its original condition just now. We've gone 73,354 miles to date, and I have every reason to believe that all 6 dampers and springs on the car are the original ones. So that makes them 33 years old, and well, as I said, 73 and nearly 500 miles old. None of them are leaking, they're all perfectly road legal to drive on, but they do feel a bit tired. I'll have to ask you to excuse the sort of chugging exhaust noise. That's that blown seal ring that I showed in a very short video just before this one. Parts are on the way. I'll get that changed soon, but for now hopefully you can hear me okay and the noise isn't too intrusive. So how does the car feel just now? Well, it's extremely comfortable actually. No real complaints there. The car doesn't feel like it's bouncing. Over certain kinds of bumps the car does feel a little bit floaty actually. Not unduly so, but certainly a little bit floaty. The steering rack bushes were done in the not too distant past in terms of mileage at least, so they'll be quite a few years old now. But the steering itself isn't as vague as I've read, or isn't as vague as I thought it might be, having read many impressions of what the steering can be like on the XJ-S or indeed the XJs with the rubber bush racks. That said, however, there is a reasonable amount of movement of the wheel before the car responds. So as I turn in here, I start turning the wheel, and it doesn't feel like vagueness in the rack, but it does feel like a vagueness in weight transfer. So I'm hoping that the new dampers will tidy that up. And from experience of cars in the past, not the XJ-S, different cars, but sometimes I've found the biggest difference to steering feel has come from the rear dampers. And I'm wondering if that'll be the same with this one. Saturday morning, everybody's about to go out except for me. We're going to get started on the front dampers. It's coming out nice and easily at least. Neither the bolt is stuck in the hole, nor is the nut stuck on the thread. Unfortunately, there's no space to get a socket and a ratchet in here. There probably is on that side. And I could spin the bolt in the hole, but I don't really want to. And there we are. It's kind of warm to the touch, but not entirely unusual. And here we go. So this has been out, somebody's greased it. In fact, I would have said, I didn't know better, that bolt was fairly new. It's certainly good enough to go back in, or just chase the thread with a die, and we'll be good to go. That's good as well. Right, so now we have to do the top. think it might be easier if I remove the air filter box and the element. I wouldn't normally recommend you use your forehead to apply torque, but sometimes needs must. It's turning, which is a bit of a pain. Right, to get this top nut freed, I've pulled down the sleeve. I'm using a pair of vice grips on the top of the strut. Not ideal, but needs must. Okay, there's that nut off. And then, washer, rubber bush. This is awkward. Oh, there we go. Got it. One rubber bush, dense foam thing, and top cup washer thing. How'd you get that out? How do you get that out? I think I can get that out after. Okay, so I have to get the damper telescoped so it can come upwards and out. So what I think I'm going to do is use some tie wraps. And there we go. Right, I think that's the trick. Use some tie wraps to hold it together. Right, new dampers. Comes with full fitting kit, which is good. The bushes and things aren't too expensive from the regular Jaguar places, but even still it's nice to have new ones. One oddity is that to replace the lock nuts, it comes with two nylocks. I might make a bit of an experienced judgment and just use the one on that, especially after the effort to get the top one off, which took quite a lot of force. And well, nylocks by definition are supposed to do that. So, plain washer, rubber bush, this is new, that fits in there like that, cup washer, that way up, sorry, that way up. Now we need to collapse this, so I'm going to do the same again. Okay, I've finally got this damn thing together. Wasn't easy, but it was pretty much just a case of brute force. So I have the bolt there in the bush at the back. It's slightly twisted, but I think it'll go in. Perfect. There we go. So what did I do with that nut? Oh, there we are. It's under U. In fact, I'm going to put a little bit of copper grease on that. It doesn't seem like it needs it, but future me might thank me. there we go. Something which I think is worth showing is the comparison between the new and the old. Hardly a calibrated test, I grant you, but here we go. These are obviously the originals. They are OEM. Where was it? Somewhere, it says somewhere on it, Boge. I don't know if it's quite going to focus, but these are the originals. So it's stuck. Oh well, it's maybe the end of that one. I have to stress there was nothing obviously wrong with these before they came off. Here's the new Bilsteins. I can compress them, but it's really quite tough going. So yeah, here we are. Let's get this one fitted on the other side. Well, already it feels different. Although I'm not sure I can describe it just yet. It is different. So I've only done the front dampers so far. And yes, next year I'll come back, remove the front subframe, and I'll probably rebush it all at the same time after shot blasting and repainting it. But for now, the weight transfer is faster. I'm fascinated to see what the back does as well. But it's already, or it feels actually a little ill-balanced now, just doing that, which I think might be the backs. See what we think getting some corners on. There's a few just along here, nothing too fast. I've been sent a replacement LED brake light, but it's the wrong one. It looks different to the previous one, and it makes the failure warning lamp come on straight away, so I'll get back to the seller. Back again. I'm quite pleased with that then. So adjust the front sets. The car does feel a bit better in some respects. It doesn't feel well balanced though. Which I'm hoping that by the end of this video, and we've done the rears, we've got a nice balanced car, and I can give you the conclusion that if you're going to change your dampers, try and do the whole lot. Or maybe I can convince you to change your dampers full stop if yours are old. But let's keep in mind, nobody said there was anything wrong with the ones on the car. Passed the MOT just fine. Clearly they were stuffed. Right, I'm going to end this video here. I was intending to do the whole lot, fronts and rears, in the same video, but I think given the intro and the time that I've spent doing the driving and the review and things, I've edited the first part and I'm already up to about 20 minutes. I think it would be excessively long and even more boring if I did the rears already. So I'm going to stop this one here, post it up, then I'll come back hopefully next weekend, get the rears done too, and then we can conclude this and move on to something else. So thank you for watching. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed so far. Actually, I didn't really expect that. It was more just something to keep myself entertained. But yeah, I do enjoy your comments. It's always good to see what people think. Next year, we'll get that front subframe done. One side looks pretty good. I filmed the worst side. Front springs to come probably later this year, early next perhaps. And I am going to do the anti-roll bar bushes as well. They do look quite tired. Something that I did notice looking through my footage and photographs that have been taken along the way. So, thanks again. Have a good time and enjoy your own cars.